Well, we want to turn now to a story about the unlikely. Thousands of precious artifacts were feared lost forever after a fire devastated the Museum of Chinese in America. It's here in New York City. As if that wasn't bad enough, weeks later, the coronavirus pandemic hit, forcing businesses to shut down and triggering a wave of anti-Asian hate and discrimination. But like a phoenix rising from the ashes, a series of unlikely events turned that disaster into a dream. A 5-alarm fire in New York City's Chinatown sent smoke and flames billowing into the sky for hours in January of 2020. The building, home to the Museum of Chinese in America, and thousands of priceless photos, documents, and artifacts. The staff thought it was all gone.
The entire building basically was completely eliminated.
Nancy Yao is the museum president. She says after waiting one long month, the staff discovered 98% of the items in the museum could be saved.
Those dresses were packed in archival boxes, about like 6 to 7 pieces per box before the fire.
Yue Ma is in charge of the recovery effort. Do you believe in miracles?
Yeah, kind of. I think everyone at the museum felt like so relieved.
But just 2 months after the fire, the COVID-19 pandemic hit New York, followed by a wave of anti-Asian racism. No one wanted to come to Chinatown.
The museum actually dealt with a triple whammy.
But news of the fire and the museum's pandemic struggles reached some unlikely places and prompted 2 mega donors to step forward. Philanthropist Mackenzie Scott donated $5 million, and the Ford Foundation gave $3 million to MoCA as part of its $50 million America's Cultural Treasures initiative.
When we received those phone calls, you just burst out in tears. It's the Powerball ticket. It really is. And I can't quite describe how miraculous those phone calls were and how it completely shifted 180 our trajectory.
Suddenly, MoCA had enough funding to buy the building, securing a permanent home for Chinese history in America.
It is so important for immigrant stories to have a home in America. If we really truly are an immigrant nation, made up of all the riches and the diversity of everyone who becomes a part of this country, I think it's very symbolic that museums like MoCA do have a permanent home.
Among the items now being cataloged and preserved, a newspaper from 1883, founded by the man credited with coining the term Chinese American. These paper sculptures made by Chinese refugees to the U.S. in the 1990s. And thousands of photographs, including these, taken by Emile Bosian, who worked for the China Post newspaper and lived alongside Chinese immigrants.
What Emile did for us was a complete gift. He said, "This is interesting. You'll want to remember it one day." It reminds me that we did live a life, and it was wonderful. And there were joys and tears, and we sat around tables and had dim sum and talked. I love those photographs so much.
Why are these special to you?
I think this is like 1990s undocumented immigrant. It's so much, to learn and to think about.
It really connects to you.
Yeah.
Renowned architect Maya Lin, who designed the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C., has signed on to redesign the space. It's set to open to visitors in 2025. And we should also note the museum is receiving about $40.3 million in funds from the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs. This is to go towards purchasing that new building. But some demonstrators, they're opposing those massive investments. They say they would prefer to see more money allocated to other parts of Chinatown. Both sides agree they want more visitors to come to that area, and this will be a start.
No kidding. That's one way to get them there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vicky, for that.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.